Everybody, hope everybody's staying safe in this crisis we're in. We're going to talk about the hybrid today, and I apologize for the long video, but I just wanted to try to explain it the best I can to try to help improve everybody's games. Here are some key things I want you to keep in mind. I always think about these kinds of things. Ideally, you want, if you don't even know what some of these things mean, you'll know when you watch the video. Ideally, you want the queen to survive the initial charge. You need 3 rages and 2 freezes. I never substitute a jump. I mean, I think I've done it a couple of times. I see the pros doing it. I just cannot survive with this attack without 3 rages. 95% of the time, I use all 3 rages on the queen and maybe 1 freeze, depending if there's a single inferno coming right at me or there's tons of defenses. I'm fine using 2 freezes if I gotta keep her alive. Always drop when you're doing your minor drop, you drop minors, warden, champion, then the hogs. The reason is because the hogs will get out too far in front of your minors, believe it or not, this is kind of challenging in a lot of attacks to drop these in that order. Just because you're watching the queen, you're making sure your funnel's going well. There's just a lot going on sometimes, depending on the attack, where I mean, I've stalled and trying to do it so fast. I got my warden down too late, or I forgot to put my warden down, and he comes in last, and he's like 10, 20 feet behind all the troops. Next, the champion really needs to survive as long as possible. The champion is the key to this attack. They do cleanup. They kill the defenses. They kill the heroes. They kill the extra CC maybe that you didn't pull. They are the key to this attack, keeping them alive as long as possible. That's why people are using single infernals. Because if you don't have single infernals, man, and you'll see a lot of the attacks I had against these guys, they have multi infernals. I mean, this attack eats up multi infernals. You would think that it would be the opposite, but if that single inferno kills your champion, a lot of times the attack's over. If you got a freeze that you didn't use in the opening of the attack, I save it for a single inferno if I see one down there, because I know that my attack always falters when the single inferno kills my champion. The eagle blasts with a scatter will kill your miners even if you're in a heal. You gotta watch that. If you're, I'm constantly, when my troops are going in, my miners and hogs, I'm watching where are the scatter shots, where's the warden blast, where's the queen as they're moving around. That's where I'm timing my heals, I'm timing my warden drops, etc. And a freeze if I got it. The enemy queen, the reason why the hybrid's so great instead of hogs is that your miners kill the queen. So you don't have to you don't ever kill the queen unless you're lucky and she's there with your opening attack with your queen. You kill her with the miners, but that being said, a lot of times it's best to use a warden ability if you can. I mean, you use it when you feel you need to, but if you can get, if the queen's there, use it, because she can take out 5 or 6 hogs while things are going after her, especially if there's a bunch of crappy skeletons around her. And usually people put skeleton traps by queens. Okay, here we go. Hybrid is an army that has miners and hogs. Now, I pretty much learned this from watching other people and then spending a long time in Legend League with all of my accounts just using this attack, and I just committed to it. If you don't, I wasn't worried about getting 1 stars, 2 stars. I just understood the fundamentals from watching people. At least I thought I understood all the fundamentals. Obviously, you learn more once you do it, and I just committed to it. This is probably, from the wars that I see, definitely might be the best attack in the game. People are defending against it, but and there's certain bases like you probably wouldn't want. I personally wouldn't want to try it, but some people say, and maybe I agree, that you can get any base with this attack. It's just that some are just a lot easier than others. So I'm going to show you like 3 of the types of attacks that I do. I'm going to start with the simplest. The simplest is taking the queen, getting the town hall, and then creating a pathing for your miners and hogs. So, for instance, and again, using the super wall breaker, oh my god, it stinks that it's only a week. But using the super wall breaker makes this attack so much easier. I cannot tell you how many wall breaker fails that I've had, which is why you bring freaking 8 wall breakers. The army composition is pretty standard, and well, I can show that. The standard composition, and this is pretty much what I used every single time when I was doing it in Legend League and just practicing. Obviously, you don't need to be in Legend League. You can do it outside of it if you're not in it. But you just get a lot better bases, and you always get CCs pretty much in Legend League. So it's more war, apt. So basically, it's always 15 of these, 13 of these. Now, usually is this for the funnel? I'll, about half the time, I'll bring up P.E.K.K.A. I'll drop the to help with my funnel. I'll drop the baby dragon. I'll drop 2 loons, and then I'll drop like a a wizard, and then the the wizard, and then the minion, and then I'll add an archer. So you can mix it up there, but you pretty and I have also done a lot of times brought 4 healers if I didn't want to sacrifice other troops because the funnel was just so difficult. And it's been fine with 4, but I would really recommend sticking with 5 because your queen surviving the initial push is one of the keys to this attack. And so basically, you got to go get the town hall, and in this version of it, so you can either come here or here. It's easier to. I didn't want the queen going this way because she walks a lot of times with queen walks, and the healers will get fried as she walks around the corner, and the attack would be pretty much over. So I wanted to come in here because also I just felt it was like an easier funnel, and this was a fresh hit, so I didn't know anything. So basically, I'm coming in with the queen here. I'm gonna try to wall break in here, and you need to drop I'm dropping the king here to clear this out. Now, once you get the town hall, you kind of need to see what happens. If the queen goes this way, then you're going to be bringing your barracks over here to cut this funnel, and this is a wide range. It probably wouldn't have been ideal. You probably would have been in trouble. The king should clear all of this and move down into here. But then your barracks is going to get the other spot, so you need to chop off 2 sides of the base, and then you'd bring your army in coming this way. What happened, and which was more ideal, is that the queen, cleared all this, got the town hall. I mean, again, I used the king for the funnel, so sometimes I would use a P.E.K.K.A. And then I would have the king to funnel another spot. And then I put my barracks up here, and then that cleared this, which allowed, and then my queen ended up clearing all of this. So again, you see that this is all cleared out, and this is all cleared out. So you have this path for the hogs and the miners to come right through. Okay, so let's take a watch here. I'm doing a Coco Loon to check for black mines because it's a fresh hit. Queen goes down. Now here's the thing: you have to wait. Like, you can't put your king down first and then drop your queen. The other thing with this attack is you run out of time a lot. Like that foils the attack a lot of the times. So I'll see people drop the king first, try to make the funnel. You really don't have the time, and you have to be careful. You have to let and this comes with practice. And even with practice, I screw it up. You got to let the healers on the queen, and then you got to let the queen take damage before you drop the king. So again, I'm using the wall breakers. It was almost a wall breaker fail, but I had 4 extras. Now, once I'm in there, I really don't want to wall break this next wall because of all of this. You go in there with your queen, you're dead. You cannot go into areas with 2 expos, 3 expos on you, or two expos and a scatter shot. I mean, you cannot heal through it. You're going to use both of your freezes. I mean, you can do it for a little bit of time, but she would not be able to reach this stuff back here, just getting through this wall in front of the town hall. So you'd have to do the double wall, which is like next to impossible to do. So that's pretty much out of the question. So again, I'm waiting to see kind of where the queen's going, and I'm also letting the king beat on that. I, also, as you just saw, I dropped the loon, those extra loons behind the queen to pick up any more black mines, and it got it. So now I see the queen's going this way. I just dropped the other wall breakers. I mean, I figured they had no chance of getting there, but maybe it'll open up, this here so she can start going around, or maybe open up this to get in there because she's going to be hit by the scatter shot anyways. So again, I just dropped them there, but it didn't do anything. So she's killing the scatter shot. Now I'm dropping my barracks because now I got to get the rest of the funnel. The queen set one side of the funnel. I'm worried about my healers going down there, so I freeze that. And once I see that the P.E.K.K.A is going, and it was, again, I'm looking at my time. When your time's at like 1:30, you gotta go. So again, when you're dropping your troops, and here's the important part: you always go miners first in a line or wherever you're going. Then you do your warden. Then you do your champion. Then you do your hogs. You gotta do it in that order. The, if you don't do it in that order, it's gonna get messed up. Especially the miners need to go in there first because the miners are going to start eating on the non defenses. So you don't want them to get, you want everything to stay together. So you see my queen. My queen is safe. She's going to survive. Now here comes the uh, the enemy queen, and I see that. So the enemy queen just totally destroys your troops. I didn't do anything there. I ended up using my warden ability later because things split, and I saw that my queen was going to kill the enemy queen. But a lot of times the warden ability, you want to use it on the queen if you can. The other thing is you really want your champion to survive because she's just key. The champion and the queen are key. She just cleans up the base so nicely at the end. Okay, so this type of base, I ended up doing like the type 2 attack. But this kind of base normally is the perfect base to do the exact attack that I just did. It's a base where the town hall is exposed. The last base, the town hall kind of wasn't exposed. You see a lot of bases which are just so screaming for hybrid, where like the town hall's like on this island, and everything else is somewhere else. This one looks like a perfect base to do the attack. Here's the problem, and this came from experience from me. Like in the past, when I first started doing this, I would have attacked this that the same way I attacked the other one. How would I have done it? I would have taken the queen. I would have pushed right in here, and then I would have cleared this side with a P.E.K.K.A, and I would have sent my king down here, or vice versa. Maybe the P.E.K.K.A goes here. This would have been a P.E.K.K.A as my funnel, and my king goes here. The queen would come in here and eat this out, and then I would come either with, I'd probably come with my barracks down here to start this funnel going this way, and then I would just drop all my troops coming in through here. I mean, that's normally what I would do. But what I saw was there's so much firepower here, you are dead. You got two ground expos, you got a scatter shot, and, and the queen. On top of that, you've got this blower that's blowing your healers. You're just dead. There's nothing you're going to be able to do. Even if there wasn't a blower, I wouldn't do that because when you drop the queen, whenever a king engages your queen, you have to either a king or a queen or a champion, you have to rage the queen or freeze the enemy troop. Usually with the king, you rage him. He's got a lot of hit points. The other two, you can get by with a freeze. But the king's usually in a spot like this where you can't really freeze the king because you got all these other things shooting at you. So you want to rage anyways, but you need a rage to get through the king. Again, coming right here with the queen is just impossible. So the other type is coming in with the queen somewhere else and taking the town hall with your troops. Okay, so when you come in somewhere else with the queen, and this was a second attack, I knew what was in this CC, and it was three ice golems. I didn't care about them, so I don't care about pulling the CC. When you're coming from the other side of the base, you definitely need to pull the CC, or you need to know what it is. What I didn't say in the first attack was you do need to pull the CC when you're taking the town hall too. You got to know what the CC is, because if it's stuff that can kill your miners and hogs, it kills the attack. If it's a hound, you don't need to kill it. You know what I mean? You necessarily don't need to pull it. If it's a bunch of witches with make got a lot of skeletons and a bunch of archers, your miners will sit there and chew on those skeletons forever, and the attack gets stalled. Sometimes the three ice golems can stall you too. Anyways, so when you're coming with the queen, I was originally looking coming in here, but the funnel was just too hard to make because I can't commit a lot of troops when you're doing this type of attack where you're coming from the other side of the base, because I need to carve this out and I need to carve this out in order for my miners and hogs to come right at the town hall. So I can't really use my king to funnel on the other side of the base for this particular base. So I decided this was way too hard to come in. I decided I'm going to come in here. And again, this is challenging to do with regular wall breakers. With the super wall breaker, it's a joke. You drop him right here, he goes in there, he blows up the wall. That's it. With the super wall breakers, you have to freeze this and then drop your wall breakers. So what you need to do is you need to do a test wall breaker. Why? Because if he's got a little bomb here, it'll kill all your wall breakers. So you do a test wall breaker, just check for little bombs. Then when I'm ready to send all my wall breakers in, I click on my freeze, and then because the freeze is on the other side of the bar, I have my freeze clicked. I move the bar all the way to the right, and I get ready. I drop my freeze, boom, release my wall breakers, and pray. So when you're doing this attack, you need to make sure that you're getting the eagle on this part. And I'm getting an inferno. I'm going to get an eagle if I can make it in there, which I do. So now I'm going to funnel up here with the baby dragon. That's easy. And funnel down here with the baby dragon. That's easy. There was no air defenses. There's nothing shooting at the baby dragons. Okay, so I'm going to get my test wall breaker. Here it comes. Oh, I already did that. I freeze, drop all my wall breakers. You got to do it quick. If you're too slow, your wall breakers will die. Done. Now I'm getting in there. And I still haven't even used the rage, so that's huge. The other thing is, you need three rages for this attack. People can do it with jumps. I just don't think it's worth it to try a base. You can do a different attack. So now I'm here. She's clearing out. She's on there. Now I'm worried because I see that these things are going to kill my healers when she breaks through this wall. So I'm kind of like, oh, I'm kind of panicking. So I figure it's pretty much a lost cause with my healers. But I want to get the queen, so I use her ability and I freeze. I did the freeze too late. I should have froze first. And now I should be set. I still have a little bit of time. I'm at about a 140, 150. That's about the time you need to do it. Now I'm setting my funnel. I could have set my funnel a little earlier. It wouldn't have hurt things. So now I got my king. He's up there setting that side. I've got my barracks setting that side, and then I'm dropping my troops. And if you noticed, it was the miners, then my heroes, then my hogs, and I use my extra rage because I've got it because the queen's dead on the town hall and all that junk that's in there. And I also used my poison to kill all those stupid skeletons there that my miners would be on, and my heals. And again, now I've used all my spells on the opening of the space, but there's really not much left. I mean, the the champion could clear a lot of this, and that's why she's so key to this attack. She's not taking any damage. I still have her ability. I mean, I knew it was 3 stars because I have her ability, and she's gonna just kill everything. And I'm saving, the wizard for cleanup. And this attack went about all the way to the time limit. It was like 4 seconds left or something. Okay, here's the third type of hybrid. So you have, again, it looks like a similar base. When I first look at this base, and again, the first thing I always look at when I do this attack is, can I come right at the town hall and get it with the queen? That's the easiest way to do this attack. This one looks like you can do that. It's just putting the queen down right there and putting your healers behind her is just not feasible because you have to funnel this out, you have to funnel that out, and it's just not a lot of room. The other thing is that this stupid warden is like one of the worst defenses for your queen, man. The warden kills my queen so many times. Even, if you wait for your ability, a lot of times that warden attack combined with some other things just kills you through the ability, especially a shatter shot. I'm worried about single infernos with the queen. I'm worried about scatter shots. I'm worried about 3 expos, and I'm worried about the stupid warden. I mean, the warden with 1 expo can kill you. I mean, it's just so I don't like. I look at this base. It's like you can't do that. So what do? This is where you don't use the barracks. Okay. If you notice here, I brought a P.E.K.K.A. and I actually went with 4 healers on this one. Again, I'm using 3 rages. You need 3 rages. And I actually screwed up and I had the wrong CC. In the CC I always do the two Yetis, or the Yetis, and then the Valk, and then the Barbarian. And the reason is because you can clear this out with them, and then you can start picking off this stuff. I ended up on accident bringing a freaking P.E.K.K.A. So I was hoping to get this and then start working on this, but I didn't. I didn't even get like half of that, and it still worked. And so what I'm doing is I'm bringing the blimp in here, and I'm bringing the blimp in here not only to try to get value. I want to get this inferno, and I want to get this scatter shot, but I'm using it to make my funnel too. Okay, and then what I'm doing is I'm bringing my P.E.K.K.A. here, and I want my P.E.K.K.A. to go this way. He doesn't end up doing that, but I want to make sure because I'm dropping my queen here. My queen's going to come in here, and my queen's going to come this way, but she won't go this way. She'll go up towards the town hall. That's my plan. I'm using the blimp to make a funnel, and I do this tech a lot. Not as much as the first one because that's just, I mean, it's easy pickings when you see bases you can do that. This is one where for a base like this, where you need to use the blimp to make the funnel. So that's challenging because you have less hogs, but you need to get more of the base. So then I'm going to wall break. I'm going to wall break over here, the plan, and get in there and use the king to funnel this and start doing it. And I want to bring all my troops coming down this way because ideally my queen and my blimp have taken out this whole side of the base. My king starts cleaning up this, and then I bring in the attack to come in right down into here and get that eagle. You want to get the eagle at some point in time, normally as soon as possible. You really want to get the eagle because an eagle blast on top of your miners and hogs and a scatter shot at the same time will kill your hogs, even if you're in a heal. So a lot of times you're using the warden ability not only for the heroes, but if you're going to use the warden ability, time it for an eagle blast too. That's ideal. So here we go. I drop my queen because I know she's got to start working on that stuff. I've got time. I'm dropping my healers. I'm dropping that giant just to keep the P.E.K.K.A. alive. He goes the wrong way, so there he goes. Drop it down. I'm actually hitting the button to drop it because the damage of that is huge. So I've killed that stuff already. And if you look, my Yeti things or Yetimites are killing that. They kill the Archer Tower, but that's it. My P.E.K.K.A. just sits there and works on that stuff and dies. So it was total waste. I probably would have gotten at least two more defenses if I had the correct thing. Now look at the warden. I mean, that's all that's hitting me right now is the stupid warden, and I can't even keep her up barely in a rage. I mean, the warden is ridiculous. I just freeze him. I'm doing test wall breakers there. I got another rage. Okay, so now and my P.E.K.K.A is going around. I have my king over there. If you see, he's working on the other side of the funnel. Here's the other thing. You see that? Uh, you can't let those beams take down your healers, so you got to freeze it. You got no choice. And I'm dropping a rage because I need to make sure that town hall goes down. Even though you wouldn't think I needed the rage, but I need to make sure the town hall goes down so my healers don't die because you want the queen to survive. Now I'm starting the rest of the attack. Here we go. Uh, Miners, the two heroes. I actually dropped the champion before the warden there just because I wanted to start working on defenses. And I got my heal down. Now I see here that I can get everything with my warden, so I use it even though they're in a heal. Normally you don't want to do that unless there's like mass damage on you, but I see I can get my queen too, so I just did it because everybody was bunched up. And then I get my second heal. Queen's alive. I know I'm pretty golden here because the queen's alive. My healers switch to the hogs and miners. That's like perfect. You want the healers to switch. It doesn't happen all the time. My queen's there. She's gonna take out the scatter shot, and I've still got my champion ability, so it's like totally golden. So I want to show you an attack that I mean, this attack's strong, and I messed this up, and you'll see why, and it still worked. But even though I messed it up, and the reason why I'm showing this is because if you mess it up, this is what you need to do, especially if it's a fresh hit. This is a fresh hit. We don't know what's in anything, and you want to make sure you get 2 stars in the highest percentage you can get. So again, this is one of those bases I was talking about. It's perfect. You got the town hall on an island by itself. You can come in with the queen and get the town hall and then go from there. There's not a lot of firepower back here. I mean, everything's pretty spaced out. So you don't your queen will take their time going through walls or wherever she goes. She's going to be pretty much safe. And you can keep her through with 3 rages super easy. Everything's just too far away. The problem with this is that to do this with regular wall breakers is a challenge. I actually did it perfect with the wall breakers, but I didn't make my funnel right. So my plan was have the queen break through here, come in here. Well, what that means is I have to funnel over here, and I got to get this, and I didn't. And you'll see what happens. So I bring the P.E.K.K.A in because I see I have to make this hard funnel. So my queen's coming here. I'm waiting because she's not taking damage. I'm not going to drop my Coco Loon or my healers because I don't want them to die to the thing, the air defense. So I want the queen. I wanted the queen to come down right. You see where I'm doing, going right there. So I wanted that, but then she does that on me. So that now my funnel's kind of screwed. So I need to improvise. I use the wall breakers to break through that. Here's another thing with these walls where they put these like lone walls out here. If you try to do a wall breaker from here, you're going around. But if you do it in the middle and there's defenses behind it, it will break the wall. So you got to be careful with that, but it can be done. I come through with the second ones. They're in rage. Boom. Done. It's perfect. Now, the problem was I should have probably dropped my P.E.K.K.A there, but I wanted to use my P.E.K.K.A later for a funnel for the regular troops. So, and I figured she was golden. I figured that the champion would pull her into the middle, but he didn't. Like, she walked away. And then I see what's happening. I'm trying to get that before she kills that. And I'm hoping the champion brings her back in, but she doesn't. So now I have to abandon the plan. And again, what was my plan? My plan was to get to the town hall and see what the hell the queen did, and then I would decide where to bring my troops in. Um, Probably what I was thinking is I probably she would be here doing this. I would drop my barracks here to clear this, and I would drop my miners and everything to come in here to meet up with the queen and go through there. Another option is if she came out here, drop my barracks here, start here, going or drop my barracks probably right down here because I have an extra wizard to clean up that stuff in the back. So as they start going here, and then drop all my troops to come in here and go right at that. It would have worked either way. But now the queen does this, so all bets are off. Now your job is get the town hall. It turns out that I made a nice funnel for my troops to go right through there and and stay together. So I thought, well, I got a chance. Here comes the hound. I'm using another rage because I need to get that status shot, but more, and I have the blower on me. But more importantly, I'm uh, I gotta get through that hound quick because I can't. Again, my timer. I would say be above 140 left before you drop your hogs. At least, I mean, closer to 150, 155 before you drop everything else. I dropped the barracks over there because I wanted to help my queen. I figure if my queen could stay alive, maybe I got a chance. Again, I've already committed that I'm going after the town hall with my main force because of what's happened. I just dropped my other P.E.K.K.A down with them to help. So there they go. Now you got to use your ability on this town hall. We know that. You got the stupid skeletons on there. There's the ability. Boom. Okay, so now I got the stupid scatter shot. I could have froze that stuff right there. Probably would have been better, but I waited. I noticed that there I freeze it there. Everything's in the heel. If you notice, my hogs on the back end are coming along with my other troops. I got another heal in the middle. I got a heal on top of that enemy queen, which is important. The enemy queen's going to go down. I mean, the last resort is putting a heal on the enemy queen if you got nothing else. And if everything's together, she'll go down really fast. You got your miners taking her down fast, and you've got your champion taking her down fast. I used the ability, and my healers switched over to my hogs, and my hogs and miners. So now it's golden. So the bottom line of this one is, if your queen does something stupid, take out the town hall with your troops. You might get lucky, but you definitely want to secure the 2-star, especially if you're doing like CWL. Okay, so this attack, again, it's the type 1, get the town hall. But I want to show you, I ended up messing it up the first time, and then I used dragons the second time. The queen walk dragon attack is exactly the same as the hybrid attack. So if you can master the hybrid attack, you can do the same thing. It's the same thought process is what I mean as far as what to do with your queen. It's the exact same thought process. When you get really comfortable with the hybrid, you can use this. So I did this as a hybrid first. Like anything else, and this is the thing, the traps we fall into. When you learn a new attack and you feel real good about it, you try to, first of all, you look for all the bases you think you can do it on. Then you start trying to fit it on bases where you probably shouldn't be. You should probably be thinking about something else. I think I would have got this base, but I made one mistake, and I'm going to show you what it is. So again, I'm dropping the queen. I'm going to get that town hall. I see that there's a Coco Luna over there that gets killed, and I use a second loon on that little cannon to make sure she goes. Now I've got the king going there. I'm a little worried that the queen's gonna walk. So when you're doing that, I just rage the king. Now I feel like I'm golden here, and if I would have just done this and stopped, I think I would have been okay. And I'll show you why. I did that. I waited and I dropped those wall breakers. Okay, I don't know what I was thinking because it was just the middle of the attack and I just didn't think this far ahead because usually I don't have any wall breakers left. I'm thinking, heck, I'm going to go in here and get this thing right here. Well, look at what's here. One, two, three. That one doesn't reach you, but you got one, that on the corner when she steps up because she's going to step up to start shooting stuff. You got the queen over here that when she steps over into that area, she's going to get hit. You're dead. The other thing is, if she goes up to the top, you got the single. Like, you're dead. I just put her into a total death trap, and that's exactly what happened. And it didn't look that bad at first, but if I wouldn't have wall braked that, she would have gone around here or bounced out here, and either one of those would have been fine. Okay, she would have started clearing that stuff, and then I would have started my attack from the top. I'm gonna speed this up. So now I'm, and I also got the blimp. This was a mistake. If you have, you need to always have a blimp or in a barracks in backup. So for whatever reason, I did not have the barracks. I just wasn't prepared, and I don't know why I have a blimp here. I shouldn't even have a blimp. So I wasn't prepared. So I switched. I'm sorry, I was prepared. I switched. So you want to have that. I ended up switching to the barracks and started doing that. Now here's what happens. Queen's gonna die, but everything's in there. Now look, I didn't make the funnel because I didn't have time because I panicked. The queen was over there, and in the single, I knew the single inferno was gonna kill her. So I figured I got to drop my troops now because I want them to get in there and take up the single inferno. And they all split, and now it's over. So for the next attack, I was gonna do the same thing, but I wasn't gonna wall break that wall. And then I just started looking around the base because I know that you can use dragons for a queen hybrid, but to be honest with you, I have not done it a lot because a lot of the bases that I'm looking at they just don't lend themselves for that. But a base like this does. You got these expos here in the middle. You've got the blowers pointing in these directions. So I see people, the pros, going at blowers. Man, I do not go at blowers. I die every damn time. So I'm thinking to myself, what can I do here? I can take my king. And I noticed from the last attack, he funneled all this stuff. I can use a barracks. Now, a lot of times with dragons, you want to use the blimp, or you want to use the stone slammer. But I'm thinking I can get so much value that I'm going to bring the barracks, and I put a dragon and some and balloons in there because I want the barracks to help clean out this bottom area, and I'll show you why. I want my queen to break in here, so I'm doing the exact same opening as the other attack. Kill this stuff, then pop out and walk around. Okay, now what have I done? And this is what's I'm going to tell you. This is key to the dragons. I've eliminated all this. I've eliminated all this. And now I've got this small little runway right through here for the dragons. The key to dragons is you want to keep them in a small little clump. If they spread out, you're done. So I'm thinking, what the heck? I'll try it out. I knew the Coco Loon was there, so I used that. I knew that I need to use another loon behind her. Um, Notice that I don't have any other loons for my dragons. I'm just pushing them through there. I got my king. He's going down there. I've got my barracks that's going there. I put the loon there because I didn't want that. I thought the thing was shooting my barracks. I didn't want him shooting my barracks. I didn't want him to pop early. Now my queen's walking around. I made my funnel, all my dragons in a clump. I've got. I'm gonna freeze those two things right there. I got my queen walking around. They're still going. Everything's good. I got the dragon coming on the bottom. I still got my warden ability. I'm gonna use that when I see all that stuff that's on there. Freeze that. Queen's going. She's getting nailed. I freeze that up there to keep her going. Another rage to get those loons pushed ahead that came out of the barracks. And if you notice this attack, it goes a lot quicker than the hybrid for whatever reason. Because when the dragons are clumped up and they're all on top of something, they just destroy stuff fast, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope everybody's staying safe. Take care.